What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And as you can see, today is a pretty exciting day because we have some early access to Project Cars 2. I've got a preview build of the game, so yeah, I'm lucky enough to give you guys some gameplay today. So as you can see from the title, we're going to be doing like a first impressions, just kind of gameplay video, just talking about my experiences about the game and what it was like just jumping in without any real practice. I thought I'd chuck myself right in the deep end, jump straight into a Formula A car and see how I go. I'm on the PC. The equipment I use, by the way, is a Thrustmaster TX with the F1 rim add-on. So yeah, we're all pretty much set and ready to go. I had to play around with a few settings, the FOV, and you can see these are my first laps now. I'm not going to hide it. It took a long time for me to readjust with the way that the Project Cars handling model is. It has somewhat changed, at least in the F1 car versus last year. It's definitely a little bit harder to get to grips with, and so I had to adjust the setup accordingly, like any quote-unquote race car driver would do. You know, if you're driving badly, blame the setup and move on. But yeah, I had to talk to the engineer, just work with him and make the rear wing a little bit higher, make it a little bit more stable in high-speed corners, because that's where I was really struggling, especially on downshifts. The back end would just completely kick out, and it was pretty outrageous. But we finally got a lap in, 6 seconds off the pace, and it was pretty brilliant. So a few difficulty settings later, and we're ready for our first race.
Keep an eye on the lights, control the wheel spin, and let's nail this start.
So we're ready for our first race then, and I'll be completely lying to you if I said that this was the first attempt, but away we go. Manual starts as always with Project Cars, and you can see we got off to a pretty dreadful start. No matter what I did, I seemed to just not get away as well as what the AI did, in all honesty. So I'm a little bit confused by that, but heading into turn 1, and this will be our first kind of experience as what the Project Cars AI is like. I think the aggression is at about 80%. The difficulty level of the AI themselves are at about 70%, so there's definitely a lot more room for improvements, but I thought I'd just tone it down a little bit for the first video and just see what it was like. But I've got like 2 hours experience on Project Cars 2 so far, and I can tell you straight away the AI are so much better than Project Cars 1. It's outrageous. No longer do the AI just drive on a set racetrack and follow a set line and completely ignore where you are. They actually have spatial awareness now, which was my biggest gripe with Project Cars 1, that you can actually race with them now, and it makes such a difference to the single player experience. So I think career mode is going to be much more successful this year simply because of that fact. But going back to the handling model of Project Cars 2, it's a little bit more advanced than last year. I'd say it is a little bit harder to keep the car in a straight line. I'm running with a stock setup apart from a more stable rear wing, so I did find, you know, it was hard to control the back end like that. I don't even know what I did wrong there. Just lost the back end and oversteered into the path of another AI driver. Damage is off for this one, by the way. I knew I'd be crashing a little bit, so that's to be expected. I will get better with practice. But another thing I found with the Formula A car, sorry, is the steering response was very, very slow. I had to put in a lot of steering lock to get the car around a lot of corners, and I found that really weird. Perhaps that's again due to the setup and not having proper alignment settings. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think if you have played Project Cars 2 already. I think there are a few people out there who have, maybe due to early access or whatever. If there's something I'm doing wrong, be sure to let me know. But again, lost the back end. I'm not entirely sure what I did wrong. Maybe shifted into third gear too early again. If you chuck the car in too quickly, then it's game over. So that's something you need to really watch out for. And after losing that again on lap 5, I was completely done with that session. Did my best to try and be consistent, but at the same time try and catch up to the AI, and it just did not work at all. So we're going to move off to something a little bit less challenging. We're going to jump in a Mclaren 650S GT3, and we're going to go around the Watkins Glen circuit. I love that track from iRacing, so I think it's going to really provide some good racing in a GT3 car like this. So without further ado, let's get into our second race on Project Cars 2. Alright, so here we go. Second race, Project Cars 2. We've got the GT3 McLaren 650S around the Watkins Glen circuit, and this should be a lot of fun. 5 red lights, and away we go. We've got some spectator cams as well to show you guys some external replay, so I think that'll be a pretty good way to test out the camera views on this game. So heading into turn 1, not really knowing what to expect, so I braked a little bit early. Often at the start of races you see people run off wide into that escape road area on the left hand side. We might be doing that at some point during this race, but yeah, 16 car field starting from the back, and already you can see that the McLaren 650S is much more stable to drive. Just the rear end is just so much more planted. It definitely makes things a lot easier. I felt like in general the way that the Formula A car handled was just so rigid, and it was so easy to lose the back end. There's a big crash there in the midfield as someone got spun off in front of everyone else. I'll bring up a replay and show you guys what happened. Yeah, basically the AI car just got squeezed up against the fence, rebounded off the leader, and then that was curtains for his race. Thankfully, again, we still don't have damage on. Otherwise, yeah, that McLaren that got hit by everyone will probably be limping back to the pits and just running around at pace that is, you know, way too slow to be competitive to rejoin in the race, let's say. But going around the outside now of another orange McLaren, that's us, I think, well inside the top 10 now. So we've made some really steady progress on this first lap. It must be said that it feels a lot easier, and I mean a lot easier versus driving the Formula A cars. Not only in terms of difficulty of driving the car, but the AI as well seemed to be a lot easier at the exact same difficulty just by switching the car, which is quite interesting. But through the final corner, really nice exit there, and we just smashed past that blue McLaren and into the top 6 now. So we've got a 5-lap race. That's a massive lock-up, and already I said I'd be visiting that escape road, and we've done that already. The bumps there, we're not really forgiving as well as we went across that road. It was very bumpy from the cockpit camera, I can tell you that much. Losing the back end at high speed there. I wasn't too sure whether to, you know, lift off there, whether I could actually take it flat. I think on the last lap was the only lap I actually took it flat through there, but again, I just didn't want to throw the race away on the first lap or two. You know, I wanted to keep it clean. I didn't want to spin out or anything, so these first few laps were very exploratory. They were very cautious, while still making...
Okay, mate, you're in 6th. P5 is not far away. Keep pushing, you can catch him.
While still making a lot of overtakes on the AI. It was a very tricky balance to keep in check there. But we got some encouragement from the engineer there. He seems pretty good, the engineer. He does. He talks at the right times on the straights, doesn't talk in the corners. And when he does talk, he seems pretty enthusiastic, which is a lot more than what can be said for the F1 2016 engineer, which just talks at every opportunity and tells you useless crap. But a sit rep now at the halfway point of lap 3. We've just moved our way into the top 4. There's been a spinner though through that little chicane there, and that promotes us onto the podium, which is quite nice. I'm really surprised that we haven't had more incidents with the AI, because on the last game it was near impossible to have a clean battle with the AI. They'd just turn across you and completely ignore that you're even there. But that AI car just there left me space around the outside, and it was as clean as you like.
Nice one, that's your fastest lap so far.
So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the single player experience so far, but we're coming on to the final lap now, and we really need to chase down this leader. Team radio.
Final lap now, we need first place. Come on, you can do it. You're reeling him in, this is great stuff. Line him up and squeeze past.
That's what we're going to try and do. This time we're going to go flat out, just about, through the high-speed left-hander, and that's given us super momentum onto this back straight here. We'll use the slipstream as well, and possibly draw alongside as we brake for the hairpin, or not the hairpin, the chicane corner. Very late under brakes. I decided for some reason to, and I don't know why I did this, to go in chase cam. That completely... I don't know why I did that. I just lost all sense of what I was doing. It's really hard to drive in chase cam with a wheel. But since I squeezed the leader off, I decided to let him go back through and try and re-overtake him cleanly this time. So we'll see what we can do. He runs wide on the exit of that left-hander, and his exit speed is going to be pretty poor. But again, we're not quite close enough. Hard under brakes, into this right-hander, and we're on the power nice and early. I actually had to lift and brake a little bit because his mid-corner speed was terrible. But once again, nice exit, and around the outside. Oh no, it's going to be the inside. I didn't know which corner was coming up. It's the right-hander, and that is job done for us, and into the lead with only 2 or 3 corners to go. For some reason, that in-car management menu just came up, and as soon as it comes up or it goes away, it made the game lag a little bit. So that was the only inconvenience I kind of experienced on my first day of playing Project Cars 2. But yeah, it's been a really good day. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Through the final corner, we're going to win our first race on the game and do some celebratory weaving. And there we go. Job done. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Initial impressions. Project Cars 2, it still feels like a Project Cars game. It still feels like the first one. It just feels a lot more refined. And in all honesty, this is the Project Cars game we should have got the first time around. So yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck in with career mode, doing some online stuff with you guys when the game eventually comes out, I think in September. So still a long way to go until we actually get this game. So if there's anything you want to see in this preview build of the game, then be sure to let me know down in the comments. I will do some raw gameplay as well, where I just don't do any talking. You guys can enjoy the engine sounds and everything like that. So be sure to leave some suggestions down in the comments, and I'll get to making some videos as well very shortly. There's also a Formula X racing car, and it's a 2018 spec F1 car with a shield, aero shield, and it's got a V12. So I think I might do that one in the next video apart from career mode. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.